These twists and contortions, all classic yoga asanas or positions, are the best introduction to BKS Iyengar. The result of a lifelong study, yoga, its most famous teacher says, has given him the gift of life. He says if he hadn't found it, he simply would not have been alive. This week on Being Legends, Anuradha meets him at his Pune center.
BKS Iyengar, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Your first book, Light on Yoga. Your latest book, Light on Life. These two titles pretty much sum up your personally changing attitude to yoga, isn't it?
You're right. You're right. See, what happened was, as I went on practicing, naturally, something started striking me. How my body functions, how my nervous system functions, how my mind functions, how my intelligence reacts, how my consciousness behaves. So as the stages developed, I had to add. When people ask me, what more have you learned? So that is how from Light on Yoga to Light on Life, I wrote 4 or 5 books. Light means because the light which dawned on me.
Right.
And that's why I gave the title Light.
You started out practicing yoga purely for its physical benefits.
For gaining health.
For gaining health. Then as a means to a livelihood.
Yes.
And then to a higher...
Yes, you're right.
So you keep stressing this, isn't it, to people?
Well, this is the way. Life is like that. Say somebody have to master something. Then after mastering, they like to share with somebody. So naturally, earning starts. Then afterwards, they want to get better, to explain better than what they knew. Then the last stage is that how to experience the self which is hidden within oneself.
At various points of time in your life, you have lost your hold or mastery over yoga. Yes. 1956 was one such point. Yes. Why do you think you lost it?
I was no doubt practicing very well. I myself did not know what happened to me. But I was not getting any feedback of my presentations. No imprint on my mind. And I was worried that what is the use of doing when nothing is coming to me to feel. So I said, I was become desperate. It was disappointment, frustration. But I thought, should I just continue or should I work out? So I had to purge my body, I had to purge my mind. So why not the mind penetrate further where I'm missing in order to get the connection between the mind and the movement of the asanas. At that time I was in Switzerland. I was teaching yoga with the minions. And I said, no, whatever happens, I should not get disappointed. I will work out and find out the reason for it. So meanwhile, I wrote a letter to my Guruji. I wrote a letter to Swami Shivananda because they were all knowing to me. I said, you have to give me the reason why I am feeling this emptiness. But saying that now you are married, you have got children, so when you were young, it's quite different, now it is quite different. I could not believe it. I said, art cannot be disturbed. Art is art. I said, I will not stop, but let me see how long it takes for me to come back to that state where my mind can communicate or my body can communicate.
How long did it take?
It took me about a month. And not only that, while I was doing, I was getting blackouts. Then I started doing back bends, and the moment the blackout was coming, I said, let me continue 1 or 2. When there is a complete blackout, I used to stop. So I used to increase 2, 3, and then I was getting the blackout after 5 or 6. Like that, when I continued, then both blackout also disappeared and the emptiness also.
Basically, you just kept at it.
Adding.
You have credited the fact that you're a healthy 90 today because of yoga. You've lived. Yoga has given you the gift of life.
Yes.
Right?
That's why I'm practicing even, because that's the one which gave me health.
And
And that is one which gave me intelligence.
So,
how can I stop it?
So does the fact that yoga is accepted today for its therapeutic value,
yes,
does that give you the greatest satisfaction about the fact that you've managed to, of what you managed to do with yoga?
When I started teaching yoga, in India it was not respected at all. We had no, even in the Western countries. It so happened that classical yoga was not attracted to the people. Nobody were interested. Because they were all saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. So I thought, in order to make yoga popular, I have to take more on the remedial side. So I started working on asanas, which works on various ailments. And then I started giving them with pros and cons. And later I started succeeding very fast by giving them the relief faster than the allopathic treatment in the Western countries.
While the BKS Iyengar schools of yoga are everywhere today, it is in the West that Iyengar first found acceptance. Even there, it wasn't easy. Hours and hours of demonstrations tailor-made to the needs of his students helped him make the initial breakthrough. He is candid about how he wooed his students, giving them just what he needed.
They had a lot of money in those days, so they knew only wine, women and wealth, wine and women. So how to transform them, it was not so easy. So I used to tell them in their own languages, saying that if you want to enjoy, enjoy, but have the power to enjoy, but you have no strength. What is the use of simply tempting yourselves?
In order to get them to listen to what you had
I
to say,
go with
you
their
had
current
to
mental
speak
current.
their language. You had to appeal to. So in fact, I thought it was very clever that I've read that you've said somewhere that because there was such a desire at that time in these countries to sort of enjoy life, to look
yes,
for maximum pleasure, that you started giving them asanas for sensory and
yes,
sexual
yes,
pleasure.
Yes, definitely.
I thought
I do not deny that.
Yeah,
I do not deny that.
And I think strategically
because
that was a very clever
thought,
thing to do.
I thought unless and until I win them, there is no other way, because the opposition would be more. Yeah. So I thought, let me go with them. But what happened was that these strong people could not hold their class even for 45 minutes. But I was doing 6 hours, 7 hours conducting classes in addition to my practices. They said my food was coffee, bread and fruits. And they said this man eats this, and like gross, they used to call in those days gross eaters. He's a gross eater, and this man has got such energy. I said, live like me, practice like me, you will also have the energy. So this way I started transforming, and today I can tell you that in the Western countries, I am responsible with the way in which lived. Was an example for them to turn to vegetarianism.
BKS Iyengar's most famous disciple, the person who introduced him to the world, was violin maestro Yehudi Menuhin. They met when Menuhin was in India to perform charity concerts on the invitation of then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Menuhin, who was already practicing yoga, felt something was missing and agreed to meet Iyengar on the recommendation of Mumbai-based cardiologist Dr. Vakil. After a 3-minute meeting that extended into 3 hours, Menuhin and Iyengar became friends for life.
When I met him, then I told him that I would be very happy to guide you. But he was not willing to do in my presence, maybe shyness or anything like that. Then I said, would you like to see what I do? So I gave him 45 minutes demonstration. So he was observing very carefully. Then his wife was a ballerina. So his wife was not at home. Then his wife all of a sudden came inside. So he said, darling, you have lost a wonderful chance. It is just like a ballet this man performed. Is it so? She said, all right, I want to see. So I had to repeat again 45 minutes, another demonstration.